Welcome everyone to Between the Posts. From Anglevale in the north to O'Sullivan's Beach in the south, from Henley on the coast, North Haven on the peninsula, Tea Tree Gully in the east, Houghton in the hills. We are bringing you Between the Posts, covering the whole Adelaide Football League. And I tell you what, Sean, round two, absolutely stunning. I'm joined by Sean Jackson first of all. How are you, Sean?
Good, thanks, Tony. I think the people at Tea Tree Gully would be slightly offended to be known as the East.
Or
they
North-East.
are North-East. They pride themselves on being the North-Easterners.
Is that the compass or the moral compass
In fact,
coming out?
I think it's Main North-East Road that leads to Tea Tree Gully, as a matter of fact. But you're right, we go everywhere.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, it was an outstanding round of football this round. We looked at losers last week, became winners. Winners from last week became losers through all divisions. On tonight's show, we're going around the league. We're going to also look at the results from all divisions, and we're going to look at, Sean?
We are going to look at a day in the life of a club, and that club is actually Glenunga, who are back in Division 1 for the first time in many a year. And Tony, you were able to catch up with a few people from Glenunga, so it'll be interesting to see.
Good little one. What else have we got? One more thing,
Well,
Sean?
we've got goals and marks, and the marks today feature someone from the women's competition, so that's certainly worth keeping your eye out for.
All right, folks, you're in for a magnificent show tonight, I can tell you, because you've judged one and I've judged the other. We won't say what.
Okay.
But the competitions are underway, so it's interactive and all positive, I believe, is the feedback. Well, I'm hoping anyway. All right, we'll be right back after this break.
Nine News, teaming up with the Adelaide Footy League. Tom Wren on the ground at your club for Thursday Night Live, strengthening communities through footy.
Welcome back, folks. Hope you got a chance to get a quick cup of tea, maybe even a beer, strap yourselves in. Still got a bit to get through. What have we got, Tone?
Well, Nostradamus, as I said earlier in the show, first of all yourself, 3 players from a team
Right.
went to the tribunal, you can say it, went to the tribunal this week. Dangerous tackle, dangerous tackle, dangerous tackle. The suspensions were 3, 3 and 2.
Yeah.
You sent the warning out last week. Just be careful about how you go about things, and otherwise you'll be penalised.
Well, I think it's a coaching technique now. When the penalty is so severe, 3 games, that's a massive, massive penalty. You add in Easter, that's a month. Those 2 of those lads aren't playing footy for. Did it affect them on the weekend? You could argue.
Ooh.
3 players out of A-grade side, they went down, didn't they? Who'd they go down to? Ross Trevor, I think, wasn't
Trevor,
it? Yeah.
who got pumped the week before by 85 points.
Yeah,
Work that out.
You wouldn't expect to lose 3 players out of your side in the 1 week through suspension. So if that doesn't teach you something, I don't know what will. But I guess it's just a shout out to all the coaches out there. Train your players in tackling technique, because it's pretty important that they get it right now.
Just on that too, and we don't want to preach, but I've been on both ends of it. Knocked myself out running into a teammates league one day, but I've been on both ends. I've been hit and I've been reported, which I'm not proud about. And I worked with a couple of players on this after my career, and the thing you've got to think about, it can be a little bit selfish. You want to retaliate or you want to do something silly, whatever. It affects your whole team. It affects them on the scoreboard. You have a rush of blood. 2 minutes later, you think, why the hell did I do that? You know, what was I thinking? And it affects the whole team. It affects your teammates. And as I said, the scoreboard as well.
Well, I think maybe you might even be alluding to an incident that happened in the game that you broadcast on the weekend, which was Glenunga versus
St Peters,
St Peters, and there was an alleged headbutt incident. So I believe that's being investigated at the moment. Once again, the message is no point being the bravest player in the grandstand. You're leaving your side 1 short on the game if you get sent off, but more importantly, if you get suspended, you know, your team's a player down. And I guess this year, more so than ever, on the back of all clubs are going to be losing players because of COVID. Not sure if you're aware, Glenunga in the Southern League had to forfeit Saturday just gone, had 38 players affected by COVID.
Yes.
I know in the York Peninsula League there's sides out there that are struggling to fill B-grade sides, and so it's not like we have a rule here where same player numbers on the ground. That's actually written in our rules this year, or interpretation. Over there, it's a gentleman's agreement. They'll ring the coaches, ring on a Thursday and say, how many have you got? We've got 10. How many you got? 10. And they'll try and get players in from everywhere.
Wow.
And I'll tell you something that's even more interesting is I had a phone call today from an SANFL coach looking for a ruckman for one game potentially this week. Adelaide Footy League has a bye.
Ooh,
The
geez.
side has been decimated with injury to their ruckman. All three ruckmen
okay.
are injured.
Yeah.
So they were canvassing, and good luck to a couple of the lads from the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 that have been spoken to today. I hope they take the opportunity, because it is a rare opportunity. You're going to be a phone call from a SANFL coach offering you a chance to play league football this Saturday.
So you're recruiting now for SANFL,
No,
recruiting
I'm not.
players. You're wiping out the Adelaide Footy League of their ruckman. I hope the contract is a ripper that they get. And if we haven't found anyone in the next day or two, give Sean a ring, because there's an opportunity there. What else you got, mate?
Well, probably one last thing. I should apologise to all the Brighton supporters out there. I got it wrong. Hurts me to say it. Tom Barry, thanks for the information. It was not 100% correct. So I believe in the past, Brighton have beaten Goodwood Saints. So round 1 wasn't their first time, but I think it was the first time in Division 1. Back in 1980, Brighton did beat Goodwood Saints in Division 2.
1980. All right, moving on. Thank you for that, Sean, because that is as rare as hen's teeth, an apology. Police Credit Union $5,000 competition. Win $5,000 to kickstart your club thanks to our proud major sponsor, the Police Credit Union. Registered clubs of the Adelaide Footy League are invited to enter our Kickstart competition to win $5,000. Head along to thepolicecu.com.au/kickstart/ and complete the entry form by uploading a photo of your club and placing your vote. It's that easy. More can be found at the website that we've just put up.
$5,000. Why wouldn't you ever go?
Entries close 30th of April 2022. And just as we lead into the break, I did notice the umpires on Saturday had 2 armbands on. So our thoughts are with the umpires. Of course, 2 umpires passed away. So Trevor Wigan, 651 games he'd umpire, and Michael Houston as well had passed. So we send our sympathy out to the families. Our thoughts are with you, and that's from all involved with the Adelaide Football League.
The Simon Black Academy is a 3-pillared program that combines both education and Australian rules football. Available in 4 states throughout Australia, the program covers 3 key areas. The first is an education component through the Torrens University. The second is the development of the participants' AFL skills, helping the player to become the best player they can possibly be. And the third is a leadership and growth program. The Academy is a perfect opportunity for participants who like football. They get exposed to AFL coaches and mentoring opportunities as they do their university degree. The first 12 months allows participants to complete a diploma in Sports Management Elite, and if the students elect to stay on for a further 2 years, they can complete a Bachelor's in Business Management with a sports focus. Based down at Norwood Oval and the Arc at Campbelltown, it is a fantastic program for anyone interested in sports management who loves football and wants to extend their education with a Torrens University degree. Feel free to check out the website simonblack.com.au.
Right, well, we hope you're enjoying the show. It's time to have a very quick look around the divisions, because we'd like to thank Phil Herden, has a very comprehensive wrap-up on all divisions on social media, and he's also got the women's as well. If you want...
Pretty good, Phil.
Doing a really good job. Yep. Doesn't even have time to shave these days.
No, well...
Tell you what, fantastic. And the backdrop's staying up, I noticed. That's another positive. Anyway, let's have a look. Division 7, Adelaide Lutheran, 83-point winners over Mawson Lakes. They had an 8-goal second quarter, so that really got them going. Fair bit of impetus there. David Hodges kicked 8 goals.
Scotty's
Not all Don't know, mate. It's not all in the second. And isn't it good to see O'Sullivan's Beach Lonsdale had a 4-point win over Hackham. So they're on the board. They only had one win for the whole season last year. They've won their second game.
Good on them.
Second round, if you like. So good on them. Division 5, Wakefield Sports Clinic. Lockley's 100-point win over Kilburn. But wait, Eastern Park, 250 points over St Paul's down there at Dwight Reserve.
Someone kicked 20 goals for Eastern Park. Mansell.
Wait for it.
Right, okay.
Eastern Park kicked 12, 10, 7 and 12. What a sandwich. 41 goals, 23 to 3 goals, 1. Sean Mansell, you are correct. 20 goals. I didn't kick that in a career, let alone at training. Sean.
That gets my old boy, St Paul's.
20 goals. Yep.
Sputnik.
Get him a boot sponsor because he'd need a new pair this week as well. Leather poisoning. Division 3, Sip and Save. You would not believe it. I pull all these anomalies out. There was a draw. Is it the first draw? We'll wait for Phil to fill us in on this one. Westminster and Scotch, 13 goals, 86 to Scotch, 12-14, 86. 26 scoring shots to 21. So they kicked themselves out of it, Scotch.
Well, that's a good result for Scotch because they were looking down and out after round 1. So,
all right, you're happy with that? You're happy with the draw?
I am very happy with the draw. No winners out of that game, though.
You're easily pleased.
Is that you finished? All right, well, let's have a look at Division 6. I'll tell you what stood out to me in Division 6. 3 sides won by massive margins. I don't like to see that at this time of year. I like to think that, everyone's up and about early in the year. And I know, look, there's extenuating circumstances at the moment with COVID, etc. But Trinity, 97 points over Rosewater. Central United, 76 points over Ingle Farm. And Marion, 82 points over Fitzroy. They were the big winners in Division 6. Division 4, which is, which league, Tony? The 9 News League. I want to mention Adam Proud from Walkerville. We kicked 11 goals out of 28 in a massive win by 15 goals over Mitcham.
He'd be proud.
He would be very proud. So would his mum and dad. Paraka beat Pulteney by 8 goals, struggling a little bit. Pulteney early on, and Portland. Forgot to mention last week, I think it was something like 900 days since they'd had a win last week. Well, they obviously enjoyed it because they've rolled on a second win, and not by a small margin either. Portland 21-6 beat Kenilworth 13-10. But have a look at the goal scorers, mate. Lindsay Thomas, 6, AFL player. There's a Jake Need in there, who was his second best player, and I reckon that's Jake Need, the player of Port Power. So
pretty handy.
And there's a couple of Malira boys running around there, so things are definitely on the up for Portland. I reckon they won in the reserves for 2 weeks in a row as well. So sometimes you just got to get through those tough periods.
Now, Division 4, we used to have a laugh about this, but the 2 clubs that I'd been at, wait for this. Hope Valley kicked 17 goals, 9, 111, playing Woodville South. Pembroke kicked 17-9, 111 versus Plimpton. So 17-9, 111 each. Their opponents, Woody South 11-10, Plimpton 12-10. So there's 1 goal difference there. Stay with me. Have they got the same game plans from someone that was coaching there in 93, 94, 95 and 96? And last week, Hope Valley Pembroke played each other and Pembroke won by 5 points. How close? Attack, defence, everything. It's a mirror image.
Oh, look, I'm just amazed how you can always spin this show to come back to your career, Tone, but well done.
Not about me, Sean.
Right, so let's move on to Division 2, the Breakthrough Mental Health Division. A couple of things that stood out there. Gazer were pretty good last week, but wow, North Haven come up from Division 3. They won convincingly last week, and again, nearly, well, it was a 10-goal margin, so North Haven are really coming out the blocks exceptionally well. Henley bounced back after the narrow loss of the previous week, but poor old Adelaide Uni, things are looking a bit grim early. They got beat by 7 or 8 goals there, and the other one, of course, to note is Sacred Heart bounced back with a good win over Unley, and they're yet to score a win with Scotty Thompson at the helm. 2 significant losses, another 10-goal loss there. And Broadview took care of Foss Camden in the closest round by 13 points. But the interesting thing there were the 2 goal kickers for Broadview. They kicked 10. Nathan Gordon and Jared Petrenko, both AFL listed players at one stage, both kicked 4 goals, 8 out of the 10 games.
Going along all right.
8 out of the 10 goals. So that is Division 2. Let's have a look at Division 1, Tone.
All right. Well, Tea Tree Gully defeated Port Districts 102-97. I noticed very good with sharing of the goal scorers with Latham, Peter Personis, Peter or Paul?
Peter Personis.
Or Mary? Peter Personis and West all kicked 3 goals each, so they're a real spread there. Tea Tree Gully, 2 wins.
Yes, they've. Well, I think we've got Alex McKay, the coach, on the show next week, which would be terrific to catch up with Macca. But yeah, they've started. Except both games been at home.
5-point win.
The Coliseum, isn't it? Tea Tree Gully, Purtaringa.
Oh, Purtaringa, been up there. The smell of the mud, they fixed it all though. And then the next game, 5 points again. So St Peter's versus Glenunga. That was the game that we had the live stream of.
Well, you called that game, Tony, and I didn't get to see it, but there's a result that surprised me. I've got to be honest with you. Glenunga, terrific rebound from their first loss the week before.
So Nostradamus number 2. I interviewed the coach of St Peter's and I said, I was thinking on the way there, I thought, you come up to these games, you think, geez, can it be a danger game? Surely not. And we asked him about it and, he said, well, every game is. How much homework did you do on the opposition? Not a lot, because we've got to focus on ourselves. Anyway, St Peter's came out early, kicked a couple of quick goals, thought, oh, here we go. But Glenunga, they were fantastic to watch. They were precise with their kicking. They went short at times, 20, 30 metres, but the amount of times that they hit the target was fantastic, under pressure. Alex Haran, these kind of players, fantastic use. They were great, and they applied a lot of pressure. There was a player sent off, which will come out later in the week, so they were down to 17. They kicked 2 goals when they were down to 17 men. So fantastic
so
there.
No impact on the result, the Glenunga player getting sent off?
No, that was in the third quarter. There's some footage of Nathan Grimer, so if that gets shown, we apologise for the language, but he coached very well, I thought. They were 9 points down at the 22-minute mark of the last quarter. Belperio kicks a goal at 23-minute mark. Sutcliffe gets a free, kicks at the 25-minute mark, and they're in front. Jesse O'Brien, just through that third and fourth quarter, he played a great game anyway, but just really lifted when they needed to.
Good player.
Led well, hard at the ball. And Nick McGill, an outstanding game by him, and Ed Allen, great pickup for his first game as well out of the sample. So that was Glenunga St Peter's. Ross Trevor and Brighton now. Ross Trevor pumped by 85 points last week. They win this week by 20 points over Brighton. Where do we see Brighton? How do you see this game?
Well, I think we mentioned it earlier in the show. Brighton lost 3 players to suspension through dangerous tackles. So take 3 good players out of your side. I guess that hurts you a bit. Interestingly enough, most of the coaches now in Division 1 are using the Dartfish stats, and we have had the pleasure of being able to look through them today. And I mean, the information you get is so comprehensive. But one of the things that stood out to me was the best player for Ross Trevor had 42 kicks, 11 or 12 marks, a wingman. So a great win for Ross Trevor, and well done to Beryl Benny Watkins. He would have been thrilled to have got his first win there as coach. Yeah,
and Brighton, they do need to lift, but probably extenuating circumstances, we'll say. But they
would have been at Ross Trevor, I reckon, that game, was it?
Yeah, so they need to get going. Prince Alfred over Old Ignatians, only 11 points. They were 9 points each at quarter time. Prince's were 7 points down at half time. They were 9 points up, and in the end, they won by 11 points. They only kicked 3 goals, 3 goals, 1 in the last quarter. So Old Iggies are really pushing well in this division, but Prince Alfred aren't wiping teams off the board, are they?
Yeah, well, I think we spoke last week briefly about Prince Alfred. We think they'll get better as the season unfolds, but I think Old Ignatians, not so much of being a surprise, but they've had 2 narrow losses. I spoke to someone there during the week, and they're really happy with the side and the way they're playing. So I don't think their first win is far away, and not too early, but I'm changing my opinion on them. Not having seen them play, I think they're going to challenge for a spot in the 5.
Well, that'll be our match of the round. We'll come up to that in a moment.
Yeah.
Now, Goodwood Saints over Paynham, 101, 14-17 to 10-9. Now, they were behind by 4 points at half-time. They were 1 point up at three-quarter time. 7 goals, 2 goals, 1 in the last quarter. So a strong finish, and as we're discussing now, self-belief.
Yeah, well, I guess, I predict Goodwood Saints to win the premiership this year, and the round 1 they get beaten, so it doesn't look real smart. But we saw a good bounce back this week, didn't we? Anthony Scarra played his 200th game. I'm guessing the coach might have called on that at three-quarter time. and they come home with a wet sail. And expect Goodwood Saints to be there when the whips are cracking, Tony.
All right, well, fantastic wrap up. And we've got to look at our next game. We believe at this point it'll be Old Ignatians versus Goodwood Saints on April the 23rd at Carnarolton Oval.
Yeah.
That is our wrap up of all divisions.
Nine Adelaide and the Adelaide Footy League. Teaming up to bring you season 2022. The Adelaide Footy League, strengthening communities through footy.
Well, g'day footy fans. My name's Phil Herden. Welcome to the Women's Wrap, a second look at all that's happening in the Adelaide Footy League in the league level women's games from Division 6 all the way up to Division 1. Of course, round 2 last weekend. Let's get into what happened on the field. We start with Powerade Division 6. Pembroke won their second game of the season. Strong win there. Adelaide University on debut for the season after a round 1 bye. And Loreto got their first win at Campbelltown, beating up on Marion by 68 points. Edwardstown Modbury's a weird one. Looks like with the AFLW Grand Final, they agreed not to play split the points. At least that's what the ladder indicates. And Athelston, they had the bye. So assuming Edwardstown and Modbury split the points, here's our ladder. Pembroke, sole undefeated team, or out of 2 out of 2. Athelston is also undefeated with the bye. Edwardstown have that 1 point. As to Modbury, Loreto are in the 4. Marion Adelaide University looking to get on the board in regards to premiership points. The games, now these of course no games this weekend, it's Easter. These games will be the 23rd of April. Modbury hosting Adelaide Uni, 2 winless sides, one's going to get on the board. Pembroke and Athelston, 2 unbeaten sides, meeting at Haslam Oval. And Edwardstown and Marion will do battle down at Edwardstown. Loreto get a really long break Easter weekend and the round 3 bye. That's it for Powerade Division 6. Looking at the Safety Hub Division 5 6-team competition, Kilburn got their first win easily over North Haven. Tight game, good game at Duncan Fraser Reserves. Jeps Cross winning over Eastern Park by 7, and Woodville South taking care of Elizabeth by 32 points. The ladder as it stands, Jeps Cross, the sole undefeated side. 4 teams 1-1, Kilburn, Eastern Park, Elizabeth and Woodville South. North Haven, the sole winless team so far. What games have we got this weekend? Next time up, April 23rd, down at Woodville South. The Cats will host the undefeated Rams of Jeps Cross, 3:15. Also 3:15 game up at Elizabeth. The Eagles hosting the winless North Haven. And at Dwight Reserve, home of the Demons, at 4:45, Eastern Park battle Kilburn. Really interesting division, this one, Village Bakery Division 4. We start with Pulteney, who just demolished Rosewater. Not too often you see a women's side kicking 19 goals, kicking over 100 points. Pulteney did that quite easily in the end. 7-0 set it up in the first quarter. Lucia Azina kicked 5 goals. Imogen Lofts kicked 4. 9 individual goal scorers for the Pulteney team. Elsewhere was Lockley's over Ingle Farm by 43, whereas Croydon took care of Marion by 30, and Hectorville defeated Glenunga by 19 points. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Have a look at this ladder. Pulteney and West Croydon are unbeaten. They play each other. Next up, Lockley's and Marion, 3rd and 4th. They play each other. Next up, Hectorville and Ingle Farm, 5th and 6th. They play each other. Next up. So guess what? Glenunga and Rosewater looking for that first win. They're going to play each other in round 3. So here's the schedule as Milton. Fork Reserve, it's an early game in the morning. Undefeated Hawks, undefeated Pulteney for top spot in the Village Bakery Division 4. Ingle Farm and Hectorville, 3:15 at Roe Park to get into the top 4. Glenunga and Rosewater at Webb Oval also at 3:15 to get the first win. And Marion and Lockley's down at Marion Sports Complex to stay in the top 4. Amazing scheduling in the Village Bakery Division 4 coming up on April 23. To the 9Us, Division 3 8-team competition. Victories there to Mitcham over Kenilworth, Golden Grove over Hope Valley. The close one was at Brighton, where the Reds, Flinders Park, got over Brighton by 8 points, and Goodwood Saints a fairly easy win over Fitzroy. The ladder, after 2 games, Goody Saints and Flinders Park are unbeaten on top. Golden Grove, Mitcham, Brighton, Kenilworth with 1 win, 1 loss. Hope Valley and Fitzroy looking for that first victory. How does it shape up in the games on April 23? Well, 3:15, Goodwood Saints host Brighton at Goodwood. St Mary's at Kenilworth, they host Hope Valley. Mitcham, they host the winless Fitzroy Price Memorial. And Saturday night football. This should be a cracker, actually. Flinders Park Oval. The Flinders Park undefeated team host 1-1 Golden Grove. Flinders Park and Golden Grove see a lot of each other in the men's. They're about to see a fair bit of each other in the 9Us Division 3. Cinderella's Commercial Cleaning, Division 2. Victories here to Flinders University over Scotch. Blackfriars, what a tight game that was. Blackfriars, 8 more scoring shots, just emerged with the win by 3 points. And Anglevale on the board in Division 2, taking care of Henley at Shark Park, the Henley Memorial Oval. Gazer watched it all from the sidelines. They enjoyed the bye. 7-team competition. In all the women's divisions, 4 teams make the finals this year. Flinders University and Anglevale are top. Blackfriars and Henley in the 4. Tea Tree Gully, Gazer and Scotch still winless. But that might change when we have a look at the schedule for Division 2 on April 23. Blackfriars and Henley at St Dominic's Oval. 2 winless teams up at Pertaringa, Tea Tree Gully and Gazer at a 3:15 game. And a sort of twilight evening game. Will be night, I guess. We're into daylight savings finished, where the 2 top teams will do battle. This is up at Anglevale. Anglevale hosting Flinders University. Scotch have a long break to work out how to get on the winners board when they come back April 30th. This leaves us now at Division 1 competition, and Old Ignatian stayed undefeated, taking care of Smosh West Lakes, playing their first game of the season by 53 points. That game actually played at Smosh. Morphettville Park, Payneham, Norwood Union. Well, that's Morphettville Park there defeating Payneham by 41 points. And Happy Valley getting on the board in Division 1, defeating Adelaide University by 40. Broadview had the bye. The ladder, 2 undefeated teams, Old Ignatians and Morphy Parks. 2 other teams with a win in the 4, Happy Valley and Broadview. 3 sides still winless, Payneham, Norwood Union, Smosh West Lakes and Adelaide University. The schedule for Round 3, Division 1, April 23. 2 unbeaten sides clash at Broadview Over, should be a cracker. Broadview and Old Ignatians. 6:25, a night game at Kellett Reserve. 2 really traditional women's programs going at it, Morphy Parks and Adelaide University. Then a 7 o'clock start down at Happy Valley, home of the Vikings. Happy Valley and Smosh West Lakes. Payneham, Norwood Union have the round 3 bye. So that's the quick wrap of all the league results across Divisions 1 to 6 in the women's competition in the Adelaide Footy League. What we'd love to do in upcoming weeks is broaden some of the news and what's happening around. We do have Between the Post show. We'll also have Alex Knight with some interviews and other women's content. But what's happening at your club, women's wise, let us know. We'd love to promote it. Just email me at footytimes@gmail.com. My name's Phil Herden saying thanks for watching. We'll be back same time in 2 weeks. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable Easter, and hope you enjoy your footy.
we are, folks, the Glenunga canteen, and didn't that just look absolutely sensational? And they're both mine. No, they're not. I'm on the diet. He's done well, this man. So this is... He's given me stuff already. This is Robbie from the canteen, and this is another look at what happens on game day. And just have a look at that barbecue there. Can we have a look? Sausages, patties, bacon. But of course, the fare of the day, steak sandwich, has gone already. Robbie, how are we looking with the steak sandwiches, mate? That is...
You've got to be able to eat them. If you can eat them, you're better than me.
Mate.
You do your own sauce here.
Oh, have a look at that. You do your own sauce. Now, Robbie, while you're serving these gentlemen, how much meat might you go through on a typical day?
How much? We do 100 burgers. We do 20 kilos of snags. We do 30 kilos of bacon, 20 dozen eggs, 20 loaves of breads, 100 hamburger rolls, and 60 Kransky rolls and 60 Kransky sausages.
That is just outstanding, and all done by volunteers, are they?
Yeah,
all volunteers.
Yeah.
Do you get any of the players come along and help you, or they just come and eat the food?
Well, they eat, but when they help, but mainly when they're helping, they eat too much. So the problem is, you know, the barbecue runs a bit low when the boys are helping, but they help. They'll come and help here in a while, because all the boys have a burger after they play, and they'll come and give us a hand, and they'll have a beer, and everything's sweet.
So you've actually got a time to cooking as well, don't you? Because the breaks, I can imagine that's when the crowd comes, and post-game the players come up.
Absolutely, you've got to have the bain-marie full up, ready to go, right? So that's why we do a dozen eggs at a time. So I'll do 2 or 3 lots, 30 or 40 eggs, get it all done. Same with the bacon, and then away we go.
Mate, that is outstanding. You're doing a magnificent job. I won't hold you up. We thank you for your efforts today, and thank you for the interview. And well, good luck with the rest of that cooking today, mate. You've got plenty of meat to get through yet. So thanks so much, Robbie. Appreciate your effort.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Welcome back, folks. Well, I'm here with Ben Stapleton from the Glenugna Football Club, who is the president. Thanks for joining us, Ben.
Thanks, Tony.
Now, what we're going to have a look at is what happens on game day in a Division 1 club, and it's a fascinating little insight into how many roles a president might do and the volunteers around the place. So I guess the first one, Ben, is what time do you arrive at the ground, and are you first here?
I have been first here the last couple of years, between 6:30 and 7 often. Usually roll out of bed and get down here while it's a bit quiet to get a few things going.
And that is the start to a massive day, of course. Now, who does the line marking for you? Who and when? And also who puts the padding up on the goals, and when does that go up?
So padding is permanent, so we've got that, so that saves a job. TK Turf, Trent Kelly does the work here earlier in the week, usually midweek, does this and a couple of the other ovals for juniors.
Righto, another role that's required, preparation of the jumpers. The players walk in, the jumpers are all hanging up. You've got, 3 or 4 grades at the moment?
Yeah, 3 men's and 1 senior women's.
Yep. So how does all that work, preparing the jumpers first of all and getting them all set up?
So we've got team managers for each of the teams. They come here early and lay the Guernseys out and pick them up at the end of the day and take them home and wash them.
Because that was one of my questions. Who gets lumped with washing them? I can remember the old woolen jumpers. My mum used to hand wash them in a bath. I think times have changed. What happens with the footies? I see one got kicked over there before that was half flat. It wasn't your team. It was the opposition, I believe. But pumped and ready. And how many footballs do you have to have ready on game day?
We've got sort of a bag of footies for each team and then a bit of stock in the lock-up. They often go missing. Juniors tend to raid them on a Friday night, and we spend Saturday morning picking them out of the garden bed. So.
Wow. So the other bit also is you are the president. Now, normally some presidents walk around in a collar and tie and they're all official. You're actually the match day official as well, hence the coloured fluoro top, mate. You're doing a bit of everything today and a magnificent job off it. Who is the go-to person if there are issues today?
Probably today it's me. David Mitchell's usually the go-to person, but he's having a weekend off. He promised his wife that footy wouldn't get in the way of a holiday this year, so he's having a well-deserved week off.
So you might be doing the job of 2 as we speak. Now we can see in the background a magnificent little setup there with the Glenunga Rams on it and a function. So let's talk about the functions. You have Ladies' Day here. I know I've come to a day here and they were selling clothes out in the club rooms here. You have Sponsors Day, past players. Of course today the 72 Premiership reunion. How does that go in regards to planning, contacting people and then all of this magnificent setup behind us?
So a few of the current senior players who are on the committee have sort of taken charge of the connection around past players, which has been great. Bob Shaw was the one who really drove the reunion today, and unfortunately he's crook today, so he can't make it. But yeah, hopefully we get a decent turnout, and it's just open to all past players. Try and get them good exposure early on in the year, so they can get involved throughout the whole year.
Fantastic. Now the canteen's up and running. I'll tell you what, it smells good and it looks fantastic over there. Club presentations and afterwards, so is that held here at the club? You go back to a sponsor?
Home games we do here, so we'll do that sort of 5:30, 6 o'clock-ish, all 3 grades, and I think tonight the senior women are coming back from Hectorville to do theirs as well.
Yep.
Away games, the men go to the Alma, so we get good support from Roo and the team at the Alma.
All right, fantastic there. And last question, which you're probably looking forward to a little bit later, the close-up time. Are you responsible for that as well? And what time does everything wind up, depending on the results you were saying?
Yeah, I'm usually gone well before wind-up. Lenny in the bar and a number of the other bar staff will do the clean-up. If we lose, clearly a bit earlier than if we win. Often the players will have a games night and get the table tennis tables out, or do some other stuff a bit later on to sort of keep the team around the club and keep connected. So.
All right, Ben, well, you are doing a mighty job. We often talk about this, all the volunteers and the helpers around the place, and mate, you're doing a fantastic job. Good luck for the rest of today with the outcome, and I hope that gives the viewers a little bit more of an insight into what does go on game day at a Division 1 club. So thanks so much for joining us.
Cheers. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
So each week we're lucky enough to get awards donated by some terrific sponsors, Tony, and who are our lucky recipients this week?
Well, they're all from St Peter's Old Collegians, and Edward Allen played a fantastic game, won the Belgravia Sports $100 New Balance voucher and Dartfish beanie, presented by Vince. The Simon Black Player of the Day, Jake Sutcliffe, he won a carton of Powerade and the Archie's footwear. I'll tell you what, they are comfortable bongs too.
Bongs, yeah.
And the Moseley Team Player of the Day, fantastic player, Nick McGill, won a $100 voucher from the Moseley Bar and Grill.
Yeah, so a little bit of quandary here, folks, for you guys to ponder at home, and that is that when we're giving the awards out each week, we think we have to give. Last year we only had 2, this year we have 3. We think we have to give them to the winning side because it's unfair to ask someone from the losing side to hang around at the end of the game. But I don't know, I'm going to canvass a few more people, but I think we really maybe shouldn't feel obligated to give them all to the winning side.
Just talking on that, Sean, we had 6 names on Saturday. We were doing that. And yeah, it did come down to that.
Yeah.
And 22-minute mark, mad scramble with the pens and swap it all around. So lucky St Peter's Old Collegians players.
And we appreciate the clubs for letting us give those awards as the players are coming off the ground, because I know we did Payneham first round and they all wanted to get in and sing the song, and we were a little bit late getting organised, so apologise for that, and we certainly will try and get them done at the end of the game as the players are coming off the ground.
In front of the commentary position. Mate, goals and marks, what have we got?
So last week's goal winner, Daniel Cluse from Athelston, was an absolute beauty, and the mark was Daniel Tanksos from Ingle Farm. This week, stay tuned now for this week's nominations in both the goal and the mark of the week.
comes inside, precise kick, McGill dives, couldn't get it. McClay on the ground, around the corner again, it's the second one. They've got their second, and that is Jake Sutton.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
Well, thank you so much. What a great show it's been, and we'd like to take this moment to thank our sponsors. We have a match of the round coming up, Sean, in 2 weeks' time. Remember, Easter, there's a break. Who have we got?
We have got, hopefully for their first win, Old Ignatians up against Goodwood Saints, who obviously hit some good form. So that'll be a beauty. 2 weeks to prepare for it. And good luck to whoever it is that gets selected from the Adelaide Footy League as a ruckman this week to play SANFL footy.
Oh, I like that one, Sean. You can also find us on social media. You go to the Adelaide Footy League page and there's several other social media outlets you can find us on. Phil has done a comprehensive wrap-up. Keep an eye out for Alex with the women's results and the wrap-ups as well. There's a lot of stuff up there that they're putting out now, the Adelaide Footy League, and all those awards. Yeah, well, all the awards are up there, the marks and goals. We would like to thank you for viewing, and as in life, when you are tight in the pocket and you're under pressure,
Yes.
may your shots go straight between the posts.
Happy Easter, everybody.